Hey guys, welcome back to Untier Talk. We're doing a thing. We got multiple people, so that's cool.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi.
that's Robert Alfons and Specs. So, Jad's here too.
Yep, I am here. I am doing things.
Like recording. What else would you be doing?
Yeah, like recording with you. I'm also drinking this Coke. Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Why is Sot still in open? Sorry to burst about open, but I just noticed that. Sorry.
No,
That's
open's the
crazy.
discussion. So Sot's still in open because he played false last round, and let me see. I believe he was going to lose, and then his Metang got 5 Meteor Mash boosts out of 11 uses.
That's pretty amazing.
And then he hacks the other game. I don't remember how, but that 5 Meteor Mash was like the really big holy shit. He's just very lucky, but I think the rest of Open looks like really strong. So
Oh yeah, no, I'm liking like Star versus Pogus. That looks like a really fire matchup.
Yeah, and we had the big series in Tom Teddy.
Yeah, we already had that. I think the thing with Sot, I feel like he's been playing for ages. Like, is it just me? I think he's been playing since like 2014, 2015. He's never really been like a mainer, but he's always been like top 20. You know what I mean? Like top 30.
Mhm.
That type of.
in
like,
placings at least. Like I was looking at the seasonal rankings with you earlier, and he's going to be very solidly qualified for circuit. And even before Open, he's like very up top because he always places fine. But yeah, I don't know. I don't.
He's a fine player. It's just surprising to see him this far in.
Yeah, like I said, the false set was just ridiculous, and I'm mad because I was definitely pulling for false. Like Teddy was my number one like expected win, but false was the guy I was pulling for the whole Open. That was a heartbreaking series.
Yeah. He's got Poke now though, so I'm really doubtful that he's gonna get further. Like I don't know how good Poke is at PU, but considering he's in round 7, I'm sure he's at least somewhat trying. And like Poke is kind of difficult, as far as I know, at least. Like not the easiest opponent.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, Poke is just strong, and I can reasonably see like pretty much anyone except like Sot I don't expect, and Tom Holland obviously lost, but the other 6 people still in. I could reasonably see like any of them could end up taking this. So I guess Serene Grace would be interesting. He kind of has like a lot. Like at this point, he's kind of more of a mainer than anything else. Like he's like working with Tom and Gum and people like that to get teams and stuff, I believe. So I don't know if that's to his benefit or detriment, but it's an interesting dynamic.
With Serene Grace, I feel like he has like a good support network. He isn't like a PU main per se, but he has a good support network of PU players who are mains that can give him teams. So that's
in last week's thread, he said shoutouts to True Swag Blue for building my team. So who the fuck is this? He's been around since 2012 apparently, but I've never seen this name. Who is this?
He's been in the room. I know I've seen him in.
I think I saw the games. I think he brought.
There's a Bronzor on my screen. Get this out.
Oh yeah, he brought Bronzor twice.
Oh my god, no, you can't do that.
No, I know I've seen True Swag Blue around. He used to play LC as well, so I might have met there. And I don't know. He's never made much of an impression, but I'm pretty sure I've seen the name at least. So
that looks like such a terrible team. Like, why is everything slow? Why is there like it's like Clef and Bronzor and Mudstil and Laurentis, and then like I guess
the game 1 team is really weird.
I don't know. Many teams I see nowadays are just completely slow, and their fastest mon is like a Scarf Sandslash plus some priority or something. And
you can kind of get away with it, but like if everything else on the team is slow as well, you have no priority. It kind of sucks.
Yeah, I feel like Mesprit leaving just slowed everything down because Mesprit itself was like it's like a nice scarf to have as a utility mon, but it was also on offense like quite often, just as like a way of speeding up a team. Like now, like its counterparts aren't as fast, and the other support Pokemon that it used to be like better than are also slower as well. So yeah, we were talking about this earlier that Mesprit leaving kind of just fucked with the meta, fucked with offense a lot. So I feel like as long as your team is like not awful versus offense, like you have outs versus it, you should be fine. But offense being really not that popular is sort of like another aspect to it. So it's like a thing, give or take.
I think as the Teddy described, Zard loves messy offense. Whatever threat he can fit on a team, then add hazards, and you have most of his tournament teams. That's pretty much. I like being the offense guy, but not being able to have any kind of real mid-speed rocker, it's just really annoying. I know people didn't like Calm Mind, and that, yeah, it was definitely more of an annoying breaker to prep for, but our options for Stealth Rock, I just do not like them. Like,
Yeah.
Auroras and
people
Kabutops are your mid-speed rockers now, which is like, what?
I've seen people say that like they're really like enjoying the meta, and it's because Mess left, but I don't think it is because of Mess leaving. I don't think it was good for the meta per se, like at all.
Mesprit or
Mesprit.
Oh,
I don't know if there's another aspect to them liking the meta now more, but like I don't know.
I just think it shook up the meta. I feel like the meta now is a bit more chess than it was before, where meta it was more about like planning in the old meta. Like if you had a few breakers on your team and you had like a Scarf Mesprit with Healing Wish, it was all about like systematically breaking down your walls and then using Mesprit to like give you that final like win con. But now the meta is more like we have 5 bulky things and this one Scarf, right? So who's gonna use hazards the best to break down each other's teams? And I feel like that's like it's like a switch up. I don't think it's necessarily better, because from my perspective at least, team building has been a nightmare without Mesprit in the tier. Like Gerda has been the single-handed most annoying thing I've ever had to build for in my life, and it's so like annoying to build for. So I ended up just using a lot of Sableye, Jellicent, what else?
You can use Pom Pom, right?
Yeah, Pom Pom's good as well. Victory Bell. Those are the main things. Like, but you have to use one of them, and it's just kind of annoying.
Yeah, I think people have underrated Girder as being a big reason for why people are like, oh, Victory Bell's crazy now. It's like, it's still, we don't lack for things that you can't switch into or can barely switch into. That's not the super unique thing. It's just beating Girder really feels like a lot of the Victory Bell hype, because some people are like, oh yeah, it should A+ is like the lowest I could see. It's broken. I think it has a huge impact on the meta. I don't get it, guys. It's good, but I don't see it being that crazy at all.
I think it's probably just because people are likely just gonna like rely too much on Girder and Ferroseed in their builds, and then there's this one thing that clearly punishes those things, and then they're just like crying because, oh no, I accidentally forgot to prep for the one big thing that can like switch in and threaten like these 2 extremely huge threats that are very conveniently smacked on like half of the teams. That sort of thing,
Yeah, it's also a special. It's also a special attacker that beats Clefairy, which is just devastating for some people.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I like that. I really like that it does that, because that means that people can't just do the fucking standard Ferroclef thing and just call it a day and catch easy wins. Like, you need that sort of breaker. It may feel very annoying, but like without such breakers, like a meta really just slows to a crawl and just doesn't get anywhere. But that said, like, if offense is also not a viable option, then it might be, like, annoying, because then there's not really any sort of team style that you can conveniently build without being very weak to one thing or the other. But, it's whatever. I think Fat is annoying, and I think Victory Bell is cool as a result. Has anybody been fucking around with, like, mixed Obama Snow or something? Because I feel like that would be cool.
I've been using a bit of songs.
Yeah, I've seen a few Obama Snows being used in not seasonal, open actually. I think it's like quite cool, but I haven't really like found a way to like justify it over like other breakers, to be honest.
I can see that. I mean, it's more something you kind of build around, I guess. But I mean, at least like back in like the old like meta when Ferroseed was around and like Ferroclef was like a huge thing. That was like a cool thing where you would have like Blizzard and Moodhammer, and you'll be able to 2-hit KO both, and there's also not really much else that can switch on it, so I liked it back then.
Yeah, but we didn't have Alolan Sandslash, which, Like the predictions you need just make it more like Victory Bell is a really safe Pokemon. We have a lot of other good grass type breakers. We've got Abomasnow, we've got Lurantis, we've got Ludicolo. Bill Awesome sometimes just does really stupid things. Servine, Simisage, Leafeon. I mean, Roselia hits like nearly as hard as Victory Bell, or it might even be stronger. I don't quite remember.
No, it's not. It's,
no,
it's
or like
strong, technically
yeah,
speaking.
it's like as strong, but like Victory Bell is just a lot safer and easier. So it just kind of
it
pushes
doesn't get
them out.
knocked by Girder. That's a big thing. Like,
Yeah.
Roselia loses all its utility once you get it knocked. So
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when we're talking about Roselia, I think Fizdef Roselia is probably the best set at the moment, just given that you can spike or Toxic Spike on like all the main rockers now. Like you don't have Mesprit to pressure you, so you have like Regirock, Mudsdale being spammed, and you can easily like switch in and spike up if you're running Fizdef. So I feel like also it doesn't get like punished as much by like Ferroseed, even though like Ferroseed can come in and spike. Ferroseed isn't like the most scary thing. Like you can run like something to pressure it. So like you have Fire Touch, you have Drampa, you have all those things that can just come in and fuck with Ferroseed. But yeah, I feel like Roselia is kind of underrated. I know Dibs hates it, but I think it's
He
okay.
runs Sash though.
Yeah, he likes the Sash one.
Sash might even be its best set. I think I don't like Violate spiking stuff. I just think it's kind of really mediocre. The one good thing about it though, the singular, I just really want to pull up this calc for you guys. I want to pull up the exact calc.
What else does Roselia spike on? It can spike on Farah, Reggie.
Yeah,
Mudsdale.
Max Modest Leaf Storm does 76 minimum to Frostlass, which is really cool. And
That's
max special attack Frostlass is Ice Beam versus like 0 HP Roselia is still only doing 85 top. So like you can still 1v1 the Frostlass trying to come in, which is the one cool thing. Like you can just blow it away, and which is also why like I don't think Spadef is that good at all.
No, I think Spadef is probably its worst set at the moment. Fizdef is like, I think you can justify Fizdef. I think you can justify
Roselia?
offensive sets.
I thought we were talking about Fizdef Roselia. What?
Yeah. Fizdef Roselia, why not?
No, but like, what does it beat?
It beats
what does
Regirock,
special
Mudsdale.
beat? Like, what does special beat other than like I guess Victory Bell? Like
Ludicolo.
Yeah,
guess
but-
that.
if you
Yeah,
run, like,
Victory Bell
Slugma,
counter.
like you can check it anyway. Plus, it's like it's Ludicolo. It's like it's a threatening thing, but like
It's not that
you're
complicated.
usually not gonna be able to hard counter it anyway. I guess like, and plus like another thing is what's physically defensive. Like if somebody like runs like a skunk or something, it's
Yeah,
nice
you
that you
would.
can like switch out without letting Pursuit do like fucking 60% to you or something. Or how much does that even do? Like
It probably does 60% to Fizdef, to be honest. I'll check though.
Nah, I think
No.
it does. It doesn't do that much.
no,
with Fizdef.
actually
I
to
think-
to special defensive it does a little under half.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's especially defensive. So to Fizdef it does like nothing.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I'm just-
it does like a little under half. Wow.
It does like 30 max to like max defense Roselia, so that's
Huh.
pretty funny.
That's pretty good.
I'm really surprised. A max Jolly Skunk without Black Glasses, whatever, it can't 2-hit KO just max HP Roselia. I'm kind of surprised.
Skunk's pretty weak at the end of the day.
Yep,
Like, it's
Roselia's
not utility.
50 HP and 45 defense.
I know, but EV Light does a lot for you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you feel like max investment does a lot to anything, to be honest. Like, you can get a really shitty Pokemon defensively, and you can like still tank a bunch of
You
hits.
do have 310 defense if you're like bold max. So
Yeah, it's really not that bad, honestly. I feel like it's Tangela as if it didn't have an Eviolite. You know what I mean? On the Fizdef
Yeah.
side, if you invest it in like max, but also a nice thing about it is that you can't get toxic, so you're there long term. Same thing with like Ferroseed. Feel like that and Ferroseed, the fact that they can't get toxic, so you can be there like for the long term without being like they can't be passive. They have to go offensive on you. That's quite a big thing that I like about Roselia as well. But again, Dibs hates me for it, so.
I just love our grass types, to be honest. Like, they're really cool.
It's cool that there's like such a diversity now, because like I remember when like Lilligant was like the only grass type with like I guess the occasional like Victory Bell, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people used that much Victory Bell back then.
Yeah.
No,
I'm kind of sad that I don't have a reason to justify like Spadef, Miracote, Servine. I used that shit ages ago to like hit Magmortis and Pyro. That shit was fire.
Yeah, but okay, it's not just Servine though. We've always had like a lot of grass types ranked, but they've like even when they've been like really good or high ranked, they've still not been that popular. You know, you never saw much at Abomasnow, Ludicolo. Like I just listed these mons, Blossom, Lurantis has always been like pretty solid at worst, and you just never see it used.
Yeah,
Fucking Shiftry, Cradilly sucks. Oh my god.
Dude, Shiftry's threatening as hell. I've been using that lately, and
I think it was because
it's not bad.
It's just hard.
The thing with the grass types is like because we never really had until I guess like recently we didn't have many like bulky waters like forming like the core of the metagame. Like sure, like Lantern and like Jellicent were good. But, like, except for, like, a brief moment, like, when Jellicent just dropped and was, like, an S-rank threat, like, there have not been, like, a lot of... It wasn't, like, where you were just, like, a bulky water is, like, an instant improvement for every team, you know? Like it's in a lot of tiers, and that's usually where, like, grasses really shine, because that's where they really take advantage of the meta. Mm-hmm. So if you don't really have that, or if your bulky waters, like, know how to take advantage of these grass types, then they're not easy to fit on the team. So, yeah.
For sure.
I feel like... as you were saying, like I feel like Jellicent might come back into the meta a little bit, especially like offensive Jellicents, since Skuntank will undoubtedly take a drop in like viability and usage, given that Mesprit has left. So I think Jellicent in general, like offensive Jellicents, are kind of underexplored at the moment.
Skunk did take a drop. It was the only thing that dropped. We did a VR update, and we had like 8 or 9 rises, and Skuntank was the only mon that dropped.
Yeah.
Another thing that's nice about Jellicent, like, with, like, the meta being, like, slower, like, I think, like, taunt sets also become more threatening, because those can be really fucking annoying for, like, just teams that heavily rely on, like, bulky cores, because taunt Jellicent usually shuts those down. Like, at least, like, Ferroclef can't do anything to that, you know? Unless you're on, like, Bullet Seed, Ferroseed. No, even then, you
I feel like Ferroclef now has to run like Drampa. I used that on the Tangclef teams. Back when we didn't have Ferroseed, I used to have a Drampa on them. But that was specifically to take on like Victory Bells, so that you can stop the Strength Sap from going off, because you have Sap Sipper. So yeah, that's one of the big reasons why I really hate Berserk Drampa in this meta. If you run Sap Sipper, like you just cock block all the Victory Bells.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Someone brought up Berserk Trample like one time where it didn't block the thing. It kind of mattered. Some tour game, I don't remember. But other than that, I don't think you see much Berserk Trampa. Let's see, what else do people like? I know we did the VR update. We bumped some stuff up, but it was all like pretty obvious. I don't know. Like this one really felt like there was nothing to talk about. Like, yeah, of course, Electros gonna go up, Victory Bell's gonna go up, Persian's better. Too basic.
It's basically all the things that didn't like Guzzlord have now gone up.
Yeah. And
apart from Skuntank.
Fucking Mr. Mime.
Thrill, I guess.
Shit ass mon.
I'm really sad, by the way, because okay, there was this set that I was totally gonna use if like Guzzlord stuck around. Like, okay, so wait. Because I had this amazing idea at some point, but I never really got to build like a good team with it, because it actually sucks, but it's really good. Trust me on this one. It's bad, but it's good, okay? Okay, so my idea was this. Wait, where did it... Okay, so basically, you know how like Skuntank can totally run like Acid Spray?
Yeah.
Okay, so my idea was, let's say you have a Skuntank on like a Spike Stack team, and you have like Acid Spray and Dark Pulse, so Darkinium Z, to like kind of force switches like that, you know, like they go in expected to their like, I don't know, like their fucking Sand Slash or something, expect like a physical set. No, that's a bad example. Oh no, it also had Fire Blast, so you could kill Sand Slash. But okay, so the final move is the real kicker. Because my idea was this: you have this, and like you acid spray the incoming scout tank check. Name it like a scout tank check. Girder. No, that's also not a good example. Wait, let me. What's a good check?
Ridgerock.
Mudstill, exactly. Mudstill comes in. You acid spray it. It doesn't want to stay in because it knows like, oh, there might be a Darkinium Dark Pulse coming in. So they switch to their obvious special answer, which is Guzzlord. So then you play rough it. That was my idea. It was really funny, but it was just like it just had a bunch of lure moves, like at Fire Blast to like fuck with. First it like just lures you by thinking, hey, that's gonna be like physical, and then special, and then it lures like the Sand Slash by having Fire Blast. No, not really, but they have like play rough for Guzzlord, and it was funny in theory. I couldn't really build with it, but it was funny, and I wanted to use it at some point and just catch like a win with it. In any case, my idea was pair it with spikes, and then you can like shuffle shit because you just keep like people guessing like what are its moves, you know.
Yeah.
That was my
You remember the guard chomp set in OU where it's like chain chomp. This is like chain tank.
Yeah.
Or
It's quite fun. I like it.
what's the old Tyranitar in the old gens?
What do you mean? Well, like the special,
Sup hunt
like the
one?
mixed ones?
Yeah, they just run. It had a fancy set name. I don't know. I don't. The only old gens I know are Gen 5 Battle Spot. So
Should remember that. Hold up, can I find that?
Yeah.
I
do you
bet
want to talk about? Do you want to talk about snake stuff now, or the snake thing?
yeah, we can do Snake.
Do snake for a little bit.
Did we say everything we had on open? I think that was it. We hit like most of the players. Actually, nobody mentioned HT, but he's pretty good.
Yeah,
Tyraniboa.
I'm not sure who that is.
Tyraniboa, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's Sub Punch with like Dark Pulse or Crunch, and then just like a random like special coverage move like Flamethrower, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt. That's hilarious. What does it even do? That's crazy. But yeah, no.
Yeah, Sub Punch T-Tar. It's manly as fuck.
Sub Punch mixed. That's actually really funny.
Yeah. I wonder, what does the punch even hit aside from other T-Tars? Well, I guess if you're special, then it hits Blissey. Okay, that's not the point.
Yeah.
Smoke on Snake Draft, I get it, like, there's no draft or anything yet, so it is just, you know, like Teddy made his big post detailing he might start. Be interested if you guys have any thoughts, or I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like Teddy's list is mostly accurate, given that I think it's impossible really to tell who's going to be playing in PU, given that managers will have like a tour player in mind that's like a generally good player, and then they might draft as like a mainer to build and support him, and then that's how like a lot of the teams might function. So just giving like a list of people that like are around in the PU community, I don't think it tells the full story of what managers are like trying to plan for. Yeah, I think overall though it's pretty like accurate list.
Yeah, I think my only like major gripe is like small things, but I think the only major thing would just be like the Katut placement, which he has peaked as like the top. Obviously, he won the ribbon, but I think it's really a hard sell to put him at number one after the 1-4 PUPL going out round one of Open.
Yeah, I think Katut, you can justify Katut as number one. Mainly because there aren't too many other people that you'd put at number one. Like, I don't really, as much as like Katut has problems, I feel like other people also have had problems similar to him in the past. So I don't necessarily hate putting him at one, but yeah, I don't necessarily think he's probably in the right either state of mind or like knowledge-wise. I don't think that he's quite where he used to be in terms of like, we always get this, don't we? Where it's like there's like 3 or 4 months in the meta that's dominated by some random person, and then they like drop out or like lose interest or whatever, and they go back to being like a top tier player, but like not like absolute the best in the game. You know what I mean?
Not really. I couldn't.
Like we had Pepe Juice last year.
Was there really a time where Pepe was
or something?
Sorry.
Do you have a better mic? Because usually you sound like dreadful compared to Megazard, but not so much right now. Or is that just?
I think my voice might be better. my high quality voice.
Oh, that's
That's-
crazy.
That's my excuse.
This man really put. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna roast him right now. I've been on a break. I can't do that right now.
It's Untier talk. Rule 1 of Untier talk: you don't talk about the quality.
Yeah, I mean,
I really
So
couldn't
when you
say
guys-
like, have we really had times that are dominated by certain players? Like Teddy, there was a while back in Horas where he just like won everything completely straight up free, and then there was obviously like Katat had his really really big run for a bit, but other than that, like, did Pepe really? I don't know. I don't know that I could say anyone else had a big.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, Katat also was like, like, I don't know, like with Katat, I feel like he really fell off pretty hard at the end of the day. Like, I think he just was like in the right spot, like in the right kind of meta where like he knew that like you're not gonna be able to like win just by trying to prep for everything. So he just brought like fun stuff where like you may just lose to like a Semi-Sir out of nowhere, but otherwise you're solid. And I think that was the kind of meta they thrived in. And once that kind of stopped being as much of a thing, he just, I don't know, I guess his flaws as a player have become more apparent. And I don't know, there's not really anybody in like the PU community who is like really, there still just isn't somebody who's like really like all the way up there, like
yeah.
yeah.
I feel like yeah, you said something that was like quite interesting there, because even though, well, Katat in like the seasonals where he was winning, his team seemed to be like, it used to be weak to like this one random thing, and that random thing used to be like not very popular in the meta. But when we went into PUPL and we started analyzing all of Katat's games, I feel like he was getting more weak to more obvious things. Like he'd be weak to more standard Pokemon, and it would be like more apparent. And I felt like he was losing games a lot because of just being weak to that thing that he used to not be weak to. So I feel like, yeah, you're right. The meta sort of shifted away from that, take risks and trying to win it that way. So yeah, I think that phase of the meta, I guess, is over.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, anyone where PUs can still come in and really pick up a good record. Katat can come back. A Torque player can pop up. I mean, even the people rated lower on Teddy's list, it doesn't matter. I think anyone can really still make a name for themselves in PU and any meta. Probably PU more easily than like, first slot OU or whatever. But yeah, it's all relative, and I genuinely have no idea what the PU draft is going to look like until it happens. It could be, I don't know what the manager mentality is going to be, but I think it's interesting to discuss this. I don't know. This is why we have guests, for you guys to give opinions when we run out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see it. I just can't predict it either. Like, I think, I think Tom Holland is cool.
Because I've been out of it for a few weeks, by the way, I did not really see like how False has been doing, but like it seems that he has made a bit of a name for himself in SM.
Mm-hmm.
He had a really good run for the people he beat. He went out in a pretty stupid way. I don't know. False has his whole OU history, and I don't know if that improves or worsens his chances of getting drafted. I think he's definitely someone managers going to look at. Teddy also rated him pretty highly, which really might help managers who at that point still hadn't like gotten a good idea of who they wanted to draft. But I don't know, because I couldn't tell you if his OU history makes OU players be like, well, I saw him play OU, he was kind of mediocre, I wouldn't want to get him. Or if they're like, oh, well, he's played some OU, he can also help out. So I think he's going to be good to buy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think he'll get bought, to be honest. He's a big name, so.
Yeah, I feel like he sort of bridges the gap between Mainer and like tour player. Like he's sort of in the middle where he's neither, but closer to both. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I also thought that was interesting. Where it's really surprisingly few PU people compared to other tiers really do play non-PU metas. Like
there's me.
I know there's you, me, and False. and that's really pretty much it. I don't know. I don't think Sam. You're not playing in Snake. I don't think Sam really keeps up with Yu. I don't know. Ziri kind of plays him as like a tour player. I don't know, but
isn't Ziri an RU player? I think that's how.
Play some RU, yeah, I think. Used to. I'm not sure if he still does very much, but I do think.
Played in RUPL, but I don't know.
I think LST plays other tiers. Or like other
LST plays
meta games
everything.
at least.
LSC plays Ranbats.
Yeah, LST is the Ranbats main.
Oh, me too, by the way. I play that shit. Like, why don't they put that in Snake? Like, it's a really good tier. To be
really
honest.
competitive.
For real.
And Tasker kind of plays other stuff. I know he's into RU.
Oh yeah, he's played some RU. Jari, if you count him, I mean Teddy does.
Yeah, I think Jerry's a weird case. I really don't think if he goes like on his own with less support than like the Jed PUPL team, I really don't think he's gonna come out anywhere as high as he did in PUPL. He's not bad, and certainly like in the PU player base, I think he can do fine. But I don't think I think like Teddy put him as maybe like the 6th best, and then up to top 3 with a builder. I think 6 is like where I think maybe he could be top 3 with like the Chad support or whatever. But otherwise, I don't think he's gonna necessarily pop off like
that's
that.
already buying me, so fat chance.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, you're buying me, right? I mean, come on. Oh man, well, bros.
I mean, I'm open to it. My plan for Snake, I don't have a plan in terms of the PU slot. Like, it's exclusive info. Like, the Snake pick for PU for us is gonna be like fucking like the last one of the last rounds, basically. Like, whoever's remaining out of the shit that's left will pick them. So
Just
you're not
not
valuing
me,
the
and
slot.
somebody will pick me up. Like, everybody knows I'm great. Actually, maybe I should put some effort into like getting drafted, but I'm like fucking lazy as shit. I will like do well in Snake though, because like I'm kind of motivated for that. Plus, like, I really fucking hate managing is cool, but like, what's not cool? Having to build like several teams every week, because holy shit, I'm burnt the fuck out. Like, but like if I just have to build like one thing a week, that's enough.
For sure.
yeah, you need to be on my team then, because I was building like fucking 20 teams a week trying to get people to like test them, and I'm like, just go, please use this team. It's the only thing we have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also interesting. You compare like the Teddy list or whatever, but I think aside from you and Teddy, I don't think there's anyone I'd be like absolutely shocked if they don't get drafted. Like you, Teddy, that's really it. Anyone else could get. I think it's entirely possible skipped over just based on Heel's opinions. Tasker would be like the next person that I really think is going to get picked up. I don't even know where it came from. But the whole PUBKC persona, like surrounding him, I think matters a lot more than anything else. Just for him definitely getting drafted. I don't know how people feel on TJ, but he also like PM'd every manager or something, so that probably helps.
Yeah, he's been trying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully.
I'm doing nothing, and maybe I get drafted, maybe I don't. But
I can also play RU. I forgot about that. That's great.
yeah, that's the other thing.
I'm so fucking valuable. If people don't pick me up, they are actually the dumbest people alive. No offense, but like, I'm so good. I'm not that good, but I'm pretty good though. I'm worth like.
And RU is one of the other like tiers that I know managers are a little less solid
like
on.
5
It's
RU
PU, RU, and LC. I like the.
Yeah, isn't RU a bit light on their community as well? Like, they don't have that many players.
RU has like Ajna and Nat, and like Eevee is already managing.
Well, Nat did a whole post. Nat did a whole post on RU players, and they have Alpha Rabbit, Roman, Kink, Arafine, Ultra Balls, Fellaburn, Aldo, Lighthouses, YJH971203, Z plus.
It stings.
He just got tour banned. The Leprechaun, Boof, Durza, Averardo, Hurtado, Killintime, Bebo, Harris is awesome.
Yeah, that's not that bad, honestly. I like Alpha.
I mean, there's people to like pick from, but like
Still not huge.
Yeah,
But also,
they don't have
10 teams. I think at least a couple of them are just going to be pure jerks. So
Yeah, I
there's
think,
only like 8 teams.
think with-
Really.
with RU, I feel like it's going to be more so like who can prep the best rather than be like the most out and out talented. Because I feel like Ajna and like Nat, they're like top of the pile, so they'll go like quite early on. I
Whoa.
assume like 3 or 4, and then like
Did he cut out?
and then like
Wait.
We can hear you, Rob. Oh,
hello?
go on, H-Shed.
Oh, I was gonna say that apart from Nat and I was gonna say Nat and Feather, but Nat and Ajna, there isn't somebody there who's like going to like put in like the numbers. So I assume like a lot of them will go on late on. Apart from Nat and Ajna, who should go in like 3 or 4, but yeah, it should be
Yeah.
fun.
RU also has like a high potential to just have like a lot of random tour players. Like I think AIM played for RU in last SPL, and he did actually do really fucking well. So
Mhm.
that could totally happen that they get like an AIM or somebody like that who like doesn't main RU but can totally like play it if they have some support and just do really well. Because like it's like once you get past like the Ajna and Nat, like there's not a lot of RU mains who like have like a great matchup against like a solid tour player with like solid building support. Like if you put like Aldo plus like just a random tour player on there, like you can probably do fine.
Yeah.
There's also like Ultra Balls. That guy played in Snake or SPL a few games last year.
SPL, I believe, and I think he did okay.
Yeah, that was SPL. He had like a really interesting stall team that like really got, and I think he actually built it himself, so that actually got me interested in like, maybe this guy will actually start, because he's interesting. But that's probably beside the point. I think this is the EU cast, but it's whatever. I guess RU can qualify as an Untier if you want.
Oh, absolutely.
What happened to KW, by the way? Did he still
He
play?
he had some bad tournaments, and then he also managed in RUPL, and there was some drama
If
over
they
him
buy
just like
Captain Lionel, they're fucking stupid.
being.
Not gonna lie.
He was a captain in RUPL, and he was apparently not great at it. And
He was really toxic, and like in general, I find like his attitudes in tournaments really toxic. I was on his team last year, and he did really well, but like he's very shaky. Like I said last year, when they bought him, I was like, he's kind of a loose cannon. He could do well. He could also fuck up, and he did not fuck up, which for me personally was sad, because otherwise I might have started in last snake, but didn't happen. But like he won like 7-1 or something, or 7-2. It was really crazy. But
yeah, he had that big
after
run.
He's
But
basically just been fucking up tournament after tournament, so I really doubt that they're too high on him. I don't know if he signed up, but I would assume he did. But
Yeah, I was just wondering why the name wasn't on the list. So yeah, makes sense.
it's probably just because he's toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where did Nat
Yeah.
make that post, by the way?
It's in the snake thread.
yeah, it's just if you scroll up in Teddy's,
Oh,
there was
okay.
there was the LC one and the PU one as well.
How dare she not even fucking name me? Am I fucking irrelevant now? Okay.
No, you're a
Yeah,
PU
you're
player.
no,
Although
you're
that didn't
PU.
stop LC from naming Serene Grace, who's apparently only signing up for PU. Serene Grace would be an interesting pickup as well. I don't know if people would consider them at all, but there's like obviously still an open definitely matters for some clout. Teddy put
Yeah.
Serene under like the tour player kind of line. I don't think that's quite accurate. I wouldn't call Serene Grace in the same light as like Tricking, Finch, Star, Poek, Rob Jr., Rodri, etc. But
I think
those
Serene
guys are
Grace.
The best
I
player.
think
of all
okay, everyone's talking at once. Let's
Somebody go first.
no, you go first, Specs.
Okay. I was gonna say I think Serene Grace only signed up for LC.
Oh, really? I definitely thought it was only PU. Maybe I'm crazy. Let me check.
Yeah, I feel like there's a difference though between like Serene Grace and then like Tricking, Finch, all those types of players, because to like the opportunity cost of using Tricking in like PU versus like OU is something you have to take into like consideration. Given that if you have a player like that, you don't want your best players to be playing in a tier which you can win anyway. So I feel like most managers will be like putting those like top caliber players in OU or like UU, like a slot that actually like that there will be more of a chance to play a higher quality player.
I don't know. They might just not want to deal with actual PU players, but also I want to cut in and say, yeah, Serene only signed up for LC. I've been totally wrong when I was saying to sign up for PU.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. It should but I think it's also because from the manager's standpoint, like it's just a lack of like knowing a lot of PU mains. So they're just like, oh, Serene Grace or whoever, let's just bring him in. We know he's good. We don't really have to talk to them or anything.
Yeah, and the reason I think Teddy and Fagtron are the only absolutely mandatory ones, they have the clout.
How do I have clout? Nobody ever buys me. I'm so sad and lonely.
You've been around for a while in not a negative light, and you got bought an SPL, so it's
yeah. To be honest, like between me being able to just kind of push Ashad and Evigaro to at least nom me, and like I should probably just tell Finch just like to like whoever buys him early into like the draft, because they're gonna buy him early to draft to just like shill me, because like. I think he still likes me.
Huh.
So.
There's no just nom you though, right? It's Snake, right? Don't you just get whoever you nom? Like you can't just get a friend to nom you and then someone else buys you.
Oh fuck, you're right. Shit, that's actually a thing in Snake. I was just still in the fucking SPL mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but it's fine.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the teams this Snake are gonna go with the tour player plus mainer like core, like with the tour player playing the games and then the main of just building all the teams. So. Like your ability to build, I feel like that'll get you drafted on a lot of teams, because then they'll just buy like a solid player to use them. So yeah, that's why I see like Zeri, Rexus, other players like Jari, stuff like that, like people who can win games, but not necessarily build for themselves. I feel like those will have like a lot of priority as well.
Rexus is freaking old.
Do we have last thoughts on Snake, or I think that was about it for the discussion here.
Yeah, that's about it. That is it.
Well, that's not it. We still have one more thing to do. It's
oh shit, yeah.
Hijaz.
Well, that's on Snake.
Yeah, that's it. But we still have Hijaz's gimmick corner to round
I
out.
already covered the gimmick corner with my Scum Tank set, which is now outdated, but whatever.
This is true. That's Robert Alfons's spin-off gimmick corner.
Specs? Do you have anything that you tested with, or?
I've been using Subsea to Bomb Snow. I don't know if that's like a gimmick thing.
Dude,
but...
that's an XYNU set, dude. I remember Ted used that shit in like an SPL game in like 2013 or some bullshit.
Wait,
like,
but why?
It's not very good. I've just been fucking around with like random.
It's like it's a subseed mon that forces out the grass types that would switch into to the seed. So
wait, sorry, I have to disconnect for a second. Is it Subsea to Bomb Snow?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's not good. I've considered it,
not.
but like you just want attacks instead, because
Yeah.
nothing switches in on you to begin with. So
It's okay. It doesn't matter. We put AV Pachirisu up here. You can say Subseed Obama Snow. It's fine.
Cool.
If Pachirisu is a viable Pokemon.
Okay. You had a real thing though. We talked about it. So.
Yeah, I mean the one thing that I was going to say was T-Spikes on Mistar, either on like Viz Def with like multi-hazard, or like Smash with just the filler being Toxic Spike instead of like HP Grass, or what's the other move that it runs? Earth Power. So I used it on a team with Ferroseed, dual hazards Ferroseed, so you like get the full range of hazards, and then you can also have like a Kangaskhan to use the T-Spike as well as the Ferroseed. So I think it's probably the best T-Spiker we have, given that Quillfish doesn't necessarily like to run T-Spike. Like it would prefer Debond or Pain Split, something like that. So I feel like on a star, like it's also a threat as well. So like even if you don't need T-Spikes, you can still be the Smash Sweeper. So that's quite fun as well.
Yeah, the one thing I don't entirely agree with is that Omastar has not just as many good moves, but Omastar also has other things it wants to run. You just want to fit T-Spikes more. But I wouldn't say like, oh yeah, Omastar doesn't have anything good, so you can slap T-Spikes on it. Like, it's got plenty of shit.
I mean, you could run like techs and stuff. Like I've seen Z ring out Omastar to hit like Lantern, although like I don't really get that. E power, HP grass. You said endure like one time, I think in a PM.
Yeah, endure Omastar, because then Primeape can't revenge kill you. You just weak armor.
On Smog Tours as well.
Yeah, no, those mentioned in two times the tap mentioned in the Smog Toys chat because it was Teddy versus Tom Holland, and Tom Holland goes Primeape to revenge the Omastar, and two times the tap was like, well, you know, run endure next time. God damn, that sounds so hot. Because so many teams are just like hit the Primeape button. Priority's less common. Like that could definitely just win a game on its own, just randomly.
Yeah. Shout out to Tap.
Yeah, that's Tap's a beast.
Two times the tap's gimmick corner.
I also fuck with like in general like versus Fairy Omastar is cool. You can
Chopple's also so underrated.
Yeah, Chopple's pretty fucking hot. I think I fucked around with like a Shuka Omastar and like Snake last year. On like one of these really whack hyper offenses that I brought like the first 2 weeks. Like those were so much fun.
Snake last year? Are you?
Yeah, like no, not Snake. Exhibition. That's the thing.
Oh.
Exhibition last year was really funny. Like I brought like a Shuka Omastar on like an offense team or something, and like tanked like an EQ from Kangaskhan that would have otherwise put me like in range of some random priority, and then that shit like did pretty well. Like shit like that's just really fun. Like Omastar has a lot of options like beyond like Mortarium that probably are not as explored as they should be.
I think it's so underrated. Like you kind of need to fit it on more of an offensive team, which is probably why people don't fuck with it as much. Because I think fitting Omastar on balance can genuinely be quite annoying, and it'll stack weaknesses with your rocker, and it'll do all these things. But there's just so much you can do with it that people don't do yet. So,
Yeah.
I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you also don't get the like defensive value that Caracosta gets. Like,
yeah.
Every hit.
Costa's a beast though.
Yeah, Costa's underrated too, sort of.
Smashing is good.
Getting first seat back kind of hurts it, but yeah.
Turtonator's underrated.
It is.
What else? What else gets smash?
Overnight.
No, hang on.
Yo.
Something else gets.
I just remembered something good. Okay. I remember like this was like several years ago when like Pharisee was in the tier, and I think it was up against like Galbia or something. And I brought like a sub smash Gorbis, so like you can sub and smash on a Pharisee because it can't break your sub at -1. I think.
Wait, no way.
Even with +2 speed.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Wait, no,
I
you
think
did that
so.
to me.
It has decent defense.
I think you did that to me.
It has like base 106.
Yeah, maybe it was
You
you.
did that
I
to
don't.
You did that to me in a
Same
seasonal. I think.
person.
Calc does not update for adding speed with Gyro Ball, so I can't tell. But like a neutral speed Gorbis, Phariseed's Gyro Ball is 17 to 21. So even if you're White Herb, there's no way that Gyro is not breaking the sub.
Okay, no, I think my idea was more so, shit, why did it work? It worked, I swear, but I forget, like, how I did that. Maybe I had bulk on it? Wait, let me actually go back.
I don't know. We're gonna have to investigate this next time. I have to actually end this like now.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Thanks for showing up, guys. It was fun.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me again.
So
you can invite me anytime, and I can talk bullshit about this tier that I have not played in a few weeks. So I was clueless, but I hope I added entertainment value.
yeah. Also, a reminder: the day after this gets uploaded, there will be a Sword and Shield update. That's a thing that exists, and I think Snake Draft is this weekend, or maybe it's next weekend. I don't know. Is it?
It's the weekend of the 17th, 18th, I think.
Oh shit, that's yeah. So it's not this weekend; it's next weekend. So we won't have that to talk about next time. But yeah, we'll have something to talk about next time, I'm sure, because the podcast's still happening. So yeah.